walked out here this morning and realized my birds are out of feed. So it's time to fill the feeders for the chickadees and nuthatches. And I feed them black oil sunflower seeds only. Reason being is they're perch feeders. The chickadees and nuthatches are fun birds, and they're very selfless. So they take one seed at a time, take it up to the tree. They'll actually pound it into a crevice of bark and then sit there and chip away at it until the shell opens up. Pretty active right now. I don't feed these guys in the spring and summer because they're a major part of my bug control around here. And if I put seeds out here, they don't eat the bugs. This time of year, they're actually going after some of the bugs that have hibernated up in the woodshed, especially those, the pine beetles and the stink bugs. They've been eating their fair share of those, which I appreciate, but this kind of protein is what they need in the winter to survive. I'm going to fill up these feeders, and then I just realized that my suet cage is empty up there, and that would be for my woodpeckers, and those nuthatches do like the suet quite a bit too. I fill these up, and I'm out of suet, and I don't have any in my back stock, so I thought, why not make some? It's kind of a good day for that. It's about 30 degrees, a little bit of wind. I don't feel like doing much outside, so I thought I got a buddy that renders down pork fat, and I bought a bunch of mixed seed for my dove station over here. Doves are ground feeders. They do not like landing in the snow, so when I've got this packed down pretty well, they'll pretty much sit underneath the feeder here and wait for these guys to drop remnants of open seeds. They don't actually crack the shells. They just eat it off of the ground, the actual meat of the seeds. So I built them this feeder station here on the ground, and I fill it full of this mixed seed that I bought that's got all sorts of thistle seed and poppy seed and sesame seeds and some of these cracked sunflower shells. And I thought I'd use that for my suet cakes. And yes, I intentionally spill this stuff on the ground for the furry-tailed rodents to keep them off of the pole. This time of year, they need their sustenance as well. Okay, so here's my idea, and I've never done this before, but I did watch a quick YouTube tutorial on how to do it. Idea is I've got probably 2 pounds of rendered pork fat here. Big old, whoops, down goes one, no problem. Big chunks. I'm going to place them in this steel bowl here, melt them back down. And I've got a coffee can full of this mixed seed. And I think I'll wait for this stuff to liquefy again, add this to it, stir it around good, and then I've got a Pyrex dish inside the cabin that I'll pour it into, and then bring it back outside, let it cool, then I can cut it into suet cakes. So, seems like a good day to do something like that. Crafty, and it helps the birds. Well, I've got this pork fat completely liquefied again, and staying at a pretty steady, I don't know, 180 degrees on top of the soapstone here. And now I guess it's time to add this bird seed to it. Don't know how much to add, but I'll just play it by ear. Oh, it's going to take all of it. Well, maybe not. Getting pretty full to the brim there. Like I said before, this is my first time doing this, but I think it's going to work out fine once I get it into the Pyrex dish for the mold. Get it back outside and let it cool. Hopefully I can keep the bird seed from sinking to the bottom. We'll see what happens. It's an experiment. So I got it all in there, and I think that was a good judgment of how much seed to bring in here. You know, I'd love to have some music on because music's a big part of my life, but I've got to shut it off for this silly YouTube thing for copyright reasons. So if anybody out there that's a veteran YouTuber can give me some advice on that, I'd love to have some music in the background without them cutting out my video. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'll mix it up for a bit and then I'll bring you out and show me pouring it into the mold. Yeah, this is going to be cool. You stay. Yeah, those ravens are still going crazy. So I've got some seeds that are sinking and some that are floating. And I don't really want to try to pour this in here. I'm afraid I'm going to make a mess. So I brought a ladle out with me, and I think I'm just going to ladle the majority of it in there and then dump the rest in. I want to make sure to get these seeds dispersed. Yeah, I got a whole pile of seeds. I think I'll put those in the bottom for now. Gonna make a nice suet cake. Gonna be pretty hearty with seeds, but there's a lot of fat in there as well. Said probably 2 pounds. I think I can get away with pouring the rest of this in there. It was getting pretty full. And I think as it's out here curing or solidifying again, I can kind of just mix it around and try to keep everything evenly displaced in there. But that looks about right for thickness, just so it fits in my suet cage. I'll just kind of work it around with the spatula here. And it's not going to take long at all for this stuff to start hardening again because of this temperature. Yeah, I think that's the plan. As it starts to harden up, I can just move these seeds around a bit and get everything equal. Let's see what happened with that suet. Wasn't quite cold enough in the mudroom here. What is it? About 35 degrees. So I went ahead and put it in the trusty propane refrigerator freezer. It looks like it's getting pretty solid. See how this stuff turned out. Looks nice. So overall, I'm pretty happy with these suet cakes. They're not store-bought looking, not nearly as uniformed, but they're going to work. And I've had quite a bit of activity out here. chickadees have been active, but I've had our second smallest woodpecker, which would be the hairy woodpecker. I've had one of the males out here doing his thing, and then I just had a northern flicker come in, and they're looking for food, so I figured I'd feed them. I've got a bunch of these remnants left over from the cakes because, like I said, they're quite messy. I know exactly what to do with those. Those fit perfect. I'm a genius. I'm a Suet genius. Perfect. So what I was talking about doing with these remnants here. Years ago when I was just using a digital mini disc camera, I could set that thing up in the window there facing southwest and get some damn good bird footage. The thing is, I wanted to keep it as natural as possible. The birds are eating my retirement, no doubt. So I drilled a bunch of holes in my feeder pole. And I pack them with suet. And that way, when I was trying to get footage, it looked like the woodpeckers were just picking at the wood. Hint, woodpeckers.